Alright, so I guess, I don't know, never made a build video before, but I felt like sharing this dumb idea that I had. So it's based around using Volcanic Fissure, yeah, the seal, and I think Dreamcore put out a video where talking about aftershocks and the way that they work in an unusual way in PoE2. I'll put that in the description as well to check it out. It's pretty handy. Apparently it thunders insane. Volcanic Fissure is not insane, but it's interesting. So if you're unfamiliar with the skill, take off upheaval. You hit with a mace, it creates a line in the ground, deals a little bit of damage, like what, 178%? Yeah, not a whole lot. And then if you hit it with another aftershock, another slam, it will cause a it repeat its damage. I'll just use, oh shit. Yeah, so you see, if you hit it with another slam, it'll repeat the skill's damage along the line, as well as any connected lines. Yeah, so you see, they both flared up there. And you can stack these lines, so the idea was they last a really long time, get a whole lot of attack speed, put a bunch of fucking lines on the ground, and yeah, just repeat the damage over and over, sort of do like a weird, I don't know, PoE2-ish Molten Strike thing. It kind of works. There's other things that work better in the build, but it does. I have had to turn the graphic settings down as far as they'll go to be able to sort of play, and unfortunately the actual like top end damage of the build is mitigated by well, I'll show you in a second here. Yeah, this. So kills the game really well, conveniently, and it's really pretty when you can see what's happening. Oh, is it gonna fully crash? No? Ah, whoa, maybe. Well, I'll go over the other parts in the build in a second here, but it's mostly just attribute stacking stuff using like ingenuity and big stat rings, and it uses this mace, which is pretty neat. So it goes for lots of lightning damage with really high stats, playing Titan. HOWA, ingenuity, rings. I'll go with the items a little slower. So it's a bunch of attack speed. Try to find one with at least 2 attacks per second. You get a high roll on the percent attack speed, and then 2 sockets for 5% attack speed each. Or the corrupted enchant for attack speed, either way. HOWA with a whole bunch of dexterity, and then a bunch of strength and int. A whole bunch of stats on the ring with accuracy, life, and mana. Yeah, decent body armor, nothing crazy. I did go evasion and block, just avoidance survival, and that's been okay. You'll notice I'm 89. The build isn't very good. I die a lot, but it's fun. This is the other ring, same thing. Accuracy, life, whatever prefix, and then stats. And then this is my poor man's Astramentus, so just attributes, life, spirit, some other stuff. And then the rest of it's kind of what you might expect. Just resistances, stats, etc. Using the surrender to try and survive. That helps quite a bit. Flasks and charms doesn't really matter. And on the tree, it's playing Titan using aftershock chance here, here, and over here. So skill has a whole bunch of chance to do at least one, if not multiple aftershocks. Small passive effect and more life. So I don't know, nothing too crazy there. It's what a lot of Titans do. Scaling attack speed using attribute stacking with Falcon Technique and Falcon Dive. And the build actually does do one thing that I think is pretty interesting. I haven't seen in too many other attribute stacking builds. So for bossing, I switch into Martial Tempo from Upheaval, so I can attack a bit faster, set up more easily, and not chug the game so I can see what's happening in the boss fight. But I think one thing this build actually does pretty well is it uses War Banner to pretty good effect. By the way, heads up, breaking ice walls gets you Valor for banners. Don't know how well known that is, and it should change, but you know, it's here right now, so might as well use it. So yeah, War Banner gives a whole bunch of accuracy in addition to more attack damage. And then when you have a whole bunch of accuracy to begin with, and you're using Falcon Dive, that turns into a bunch of attack speed, which is pretty cool. I was using Lekos today for a while, which gives you double accuracy, and I think I got up to like 26,000 accuracy or something, just like absurd amounts of attack speed, which is pretty fun. So, swing pretty fast, drop this, swing even faster, and watch my mana disappear. And not really recover, and that's fine, I guess. But yeah, get a little bit of extra value out of War Banner, which is pretty neat, and then because I cover the screen in fire, I can just drop an Ice Wall really quick. Ice Wall has a Frost Wall. Arcane Tempo, so I can get it up faster, and then Fortress with Spell Cascade to just make more of them, so I can fill up the banner pretty fast by just breaking a whole bunch of walls. Boop, and it's full again. So I basically have this up for every fight against a rare and for the entire boss, whatever, like the entire fight against bosses, because I'll, you know, just drop a bunch of fire, then just kind of step away. It's sort of a damage over time build, oddly enough, because I don't necessarily have to be attacking all the time, which is weird, but true, and it takes a bit to ramp up, so typically when I'm actually mapping, I'll just sort of do this. Oh, I'll deal with that later. So I'll make like a line of fire, because every single one of these hits is then propagating out onto all these fresh lines that I make, so instead of it just being one hit, it ends up being like 7 or 8, which actually ends up making the damage enough to do normal things. I've switched around with whether or not I want my primary to shock or electrocute, kind of depends on the situation. I'm pretty sure I have an electrocute right now. But yeah, it's either Volcanic Fissure is going to shock to trigger Herald of Thunder, and then that'll do some damage, or I have other things to shock, and then my primary will electrocute. So the damage is not bad. Visibility is god-awful, as you'd expect, but it's really pretty, and it's really stupid. So it basically checks all the things I need to build a build to be. Kind of dumb and unnecessarily complicated, but fun. I'll just clear the map for a little bit and kind of give you an idea what it looks like. And maps are huge. As far as other stuff that I'm using Hand of Cholula to apply. Actually, I could do this. Using Hand of Cholula to apply Voltaic Mark and Conductivity. Unfortunately, if you apply, and oh yeah, I'm weapon swapping to a quarterstaff on my offhand with Pillar to the Cage God, because I'm attribute stacking, it does a bunch of damage, it might as well. So like, the build could be doing other things far better than it currently is, using, you know, like this and actual quarterstaff skills, but I don't want to do that. So, right, when I weapon swap with Hand of Cholula to apply Voltaic Mark and Conductivity, if I stay on the quarterstaff and I hit something, this will actually, you know, trigger the Nova when the marked enemy dies. But if I've swapped back to the mace in time, it doesn't do that, which I find kind of annoying, and I would love it if that would change. Because it's already kind of hard to switch between multiple weapon types and actually have it be a functional build. So whatever small ways you can, you know, have some quality of life to improve that, I think are worthwhile. And yeah, using Gathering Storm to guarantee big shocks on bosses with the shocked ground. And also, you know, it does some damage, why not? Hammer of the Gods, big bonk, I'm a Titan and, you know, doing mace things, might as well. It does a decent amount of damage. Then it's an evasion build, so Wind Dancer. And then using Time of Need because my recovery is bad. And yeah, that's pretty much the build. Just run around, hit things for a little bit. Hopefully not chug the game too hard. You have to be careful about how frequently I swing. Let's usually take a couple of steps, hit the ground, take a couple of steps, hit the ground. And you kind of get this fun mini game of making sure that all of your, you know, like your volcanic fissures are connected, so I'll occasionally walk too far and have to take like a couple swings backwards. Make sure that everything's in line. Let's see if I can just, oh wait, that's right, there's not even a boss on this map. I'll just, see, like, I could stand there and bonk on him with my hammer for a while, or I could just use Gathering Storm. So, yeah, this is the build. It's not very good, but I figured I'd share because it's unusual, and I figured somebody out there will get a kick out of it. Anyhow, yeah, thanks for watching. Ciao. So I realized I didn't go over one thing, which is important, which is that when you have Volcanic Fissure trigger an Aftershock, that will both repeat the damage in that line, but also any other connected lines. So if I'm gonna take out a People again. Right. Which is a big part of what actually makes all the overlapping damage happen. So the skills damage, as long as you're not limited by you know, the game shutting down, should scale exponentially with attack speed, which is why I had invested so heavily into attack speed in the first place. So wanted to mention that, and also just give you a fun showcase of how stupid this skill can be if you just swing in the same spot for a while, because that's always fun. Yeah, this is a good time. Everything's fine. Oh Christ. Alright, that's it. Thanks, y'all.